Welcome to the Hog Sty, this crazy three-ring circus we put on once or twice a week. I'll be your ringmaster this evening. My name's Sean Conti. Our first act, walking the tightrope between legal mumbo-jumbo and cutting-edge contract analysis. Watch him prance across the wire with the grace and wherewithal of a teeny-tiny ballerina. Everybody loves him, but Christ, does he put me to sleep. It's Steve Thomas.
Never in my life have I ever been compared to a ballerina.
That's why I did it, man.
And I have never worn a tutu either.
For our next trick, doing the heavy lifting on this show, oftentimes carrying the full weight of this podcast on shoulders, rippling with taut muscle. Watch him hoist up impossible weight. It's Robbie Duncan.
Oh, get to the chopper!
Now, we're very pleased and honored to present to you this next act, taming even the harshest lions with their wisdom and cutting intellect. Do not fear, this one's got even the most savage beasts under control. It's Kelly Worrall.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Good. Glad to have you back with us, Kelly.
It's good to be back again.
Absolutely. Now, keeping this show running on air behind the scenes, it's the man who keeps the lights on and the curtains moving up and down. If it were up to me, he'd just keep the spotlight on me all night, but he's a true bastard for not doing it. It's Mr. Alex Zeese.
I think that if it was up to everybody, that the light would be on them all the time.
Exactly. I'm no different. Well, ladies and gents.
Yes, you guys missed Robbie's drop in there, though. That was the Wizard of Oz. And
I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard it, and I loved it. Well, ladies and gents, the Hog Sty just turned 1. What does that mean? Well, for one thing, it means we're making lots of noises and grunts, and pretty soon we'll be able to form words and then maybe even coherent sentences. We're still shitting ourselves, though, and I don't imagine we'll grow out of that anytime soon. But eccentric intros and silly potty humor aside, it's been a real honor to do this show for the last 12 months. We're really quite pumped to kick off the new offseason with our one-year blowout bash tonight. We're going to keep you up to date with all the recent happenings, and then we're going to look back through the year with our favorite moments and play a little game. So, thanks as always to our sponsors, Enron, BP, and the International Olympic Committee. This, my friends, is the Hog Sty, and we'll be right back.
It's the Hog Sty.
And we're back. Okay, ladies and gents, so glad to have you guys with us here again. This is our one-year blowout bash, and we're so excited to have done this for the last 12 months, and we're going to do it for 12 more. So very glad, again, that you're here with us and stick around. So we figured we'd start off tonight with a little bit of Redskins news because we missed some big things last episode. We didn't get a chance to get to them, so let's get to them now. 2 former Redskins are now with other teams, and these were prominent pillars of our fantastic 2012 season. So let's start it off with the obvious guy. Robert Griffin is now a Cleveland Brown.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that's going to work out beautifully.
What could possibly go wrong? So
there's one team in the NFL that has had there's one team in the NFL that's had more quarterbacks over 20 years than the Redskins, and it's Cleveland. Mm-hmm. The only thing I can say for Robert Griffin's future is, he's got Hugh Jackson there, who knows him well, who knows the Redskins well. I wish him the best. Hope it works out. Mm-hmm. I'm skeptical.
I do like the Hugh Jackson thing. I think that's a good move for him.
The good thing everything huge.
The good thing for him is that, the Cleveland market is nowhere near the DC market. He'll kind of just fade into the ether, so to speak, and be a no name for after a while. Give the Browns some time, and no one's even going to talk about it anymore.
Yes. My question is, has there been, I have not been able to follow the news too much lately. Do we know, are there plans to be starting him in Cleveland, or is he going to be riding the bench?
You got to imagine it's a starting job. I mean, who else is going to be taking that job over him? I can't imagine, especially with the money they've given him for the 2-year contract, that anybody else would be doing it.
Jeff Darlington from NFL Network said that he is the starter, but that doesn't affect their number 2 overall pick, though. They could still go with Jared Goff or Carson Wentz.
Good luck, Brown.
Yeah. I mean, 2 things. Is number one, the contract isn't that onerous. It was only a 2-year contract, $15 million. That only had
$7 guaranteed. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it was 6.75, and so that's in the world of NFL. It's not too onerous, and that means they could get rid of him if they had to. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is, this is Cleveland. This is not the Patriots we're talking about here. If the man brings that team to 7-9, he's going to be a hero. It's not a high bar. Well, yeah, I mean, we can have our different opinions about that. But if there's a lower bar somewhere than Washington, it's Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he can lead,
he just has to not be awful,
mediocre, then he'll be the toast of the town for a while.
Right. Well, he's got an uphill climb to do that. Yeah. But I was going to say, him and Hugh Jackson obviously have this budding bromance thing going on. I got to ask you guys this. Griffin had stated his desire to go to Cleveland several months back. He had said that was a good landing spot for him. I'm just curious to get your guys' take on this. Do you think that he actually feels some sort of like scheme connection to Cleveland, or is he literally just saying this is the only place I'm probably going to be able to go in and definitely be the starter?
I think it's Hugh Jackson. What it seemed to me was that those two guys have a bromance. They hit it off. Whatever he said was the right thing for Hugh. Obviously he didn't have too many options because there weren't teams crawling all over him, clearly. But I think it seems like those two guys have a genuine connection between each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my take on it is, I'm sure he's been having these conversations for a while about where he's going to end up next. He's had plenty of time to think about it and talk to people. And I think once he had an idea in his head, which obviously was some time ago, that it was going to be Cleveland, RG3, if nothing else, he understands spin and he understands trying to set the right tone. He doesn't always do it successfully, but he sure as hell tries all the time. Yeah. So my guess is this just means that he'd locked this in a while ago and he was saying the right thing. I don't think it necessarily means that he wanted to go there or that he necessarily, I just think that he was trying to say the right thing, which is what he does a lot.
Yeah, which is what everybody does in every job interview, really.
There is that.
Smart people, not me. Smart people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, if you do look back at his first year here in D.C., what did he say about Mike Shanahan? Oh, I love Mike Shanahan. I grew up a Denver Broncos fan. The 1999, 1998 Broncos were my favorite team ever. Jay Gruden comes along. They're next door neighbors. Oh, I'm going over to his house and we're playing Parcheesi all night every night. So year one with his coaches, he is always all in.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Robert Griffin and Jay Gruden sitting around playing Parcheesi?
Well, they were. That's the weird thing, man. They were next door neighbors. They were sitting around playing board games.
They went from playing Parcheesi to sorry.
Yeah.
and to not.
And boom.
Yeah.
Mic drop. The episode right now. It's not getting any better.
Thanks for coming out tonight, folks.
So I want to ask Kelly. I want to ask Kelly something because Steve and I are kind of self-proclaimed shameless RG3 supporters, so we're kind of going to get RG3's back no matter what, and we kind of accept that. But I want to ask you, Kelly, because I haven't had a chance to ask you yet. Does anything surprise you about Cleveland wanting RG3 after their recent troubles with Johnny Manziel? I know that there's a difference in arm strength between the two, but in terms of general playability and their general scheme that they fit in, does it surprise you at all that they would go out of the frying pan into the fire in a way? Or
it doesn't surprise me at all. Here's the deal, I think, is that Cleveland just needs somebody. Yeah. They not only do they need a quarterback, but they also need somebody that they can try to get their fans to kind of rally around. And as bad as things went for RG3 in Washington, and I think the whole town, with the exception of apparently the two of you, soured on the guy.
Yeah, exactly. It really feels like that sometimes.
But you remember what it was like when he first got here, right? I mean, it was. We had hope. We were excited. Everybody was all stoked. And then that first year happened, and everything was wonderful. And I think Cleveland needs an injection of something that's potentially wonderful. And if for some reason RG3, after a year off, basically, is back in shape and he can play well and he can put that team together and he can show some flash and what he used to do, that's going to be really good for the Browns organization and for their fans. If it happens. Now, will it? I can't tell the future, but I think that it's not a bad pickup for them. He's not expensive and he's got some potential to excite people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to excite Cleveland in the same way he excited Washington, just because the shine is off the bloom is off the rose, at this point, so to speak. And Cleveland again is one franchise that's more beaten down than us. Yeah. Is the other thing. So I think they're way more cynical even than Redskin fans about it. So I don't know if the Cleveland fans are coming into this going, oh my God, here's our savior. Kind of like we were. I mean, there were fans in D.C. that were calling him after like half a season the best quarterback the franchise had ever seen.
Oh, sure.
Which is very premature. So I don't think there's that level of excitement going on in Cleveland right now.
Yeah. It's just not going to be pretty. I don't think.
Well, the other thing is, who's he playing with? He's playing with Joe Thomas and a bunch of nobodies.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a problem.
He's got a good tight end, but that's it.
Or Josh Gordon's out,
Yeah, as always. Well, look, I think we all kind of have our doubts, but I think we all also agree that we hope it goes very well. So keeping our fingers crossed for RG.
Yeah, best of luck to the
Absolutely.
guy.
Absolutely. So let's move on to the other guy from 2012 that finds himself in another uniform starting next year, Mr. Alfred Morris. And this one kind of felt like a knife to the back, guys, because he's going to be wearing the blue and white of the Dallas Cowboys. Oof, that one hurts. That one hurts.
If someone could Photoshop Alfred Morris's face over Finn's face in Episode 7, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Traitor!
Yeah.
Why is he a traitor? I don't feel like that at all. Do I like the fact that he's wearing Cowboys uniform? No, but we sent him packing. He has zero obligation to do anything. I don't feel betrayed by Alfred Morris in any way, shape, or form.
Teasing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I know you are, but there's people out there.
There are people out there. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there, and some of them are freaking crazy. No, the guy's not a traitor. It's from a fan's perspective, you never like to see something like this happen. But we picked up Jason Hatcher happily, didn't we?
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that ain't the only example.
And Deion Sanders.
Well, I mean, we hired
and
Norv
a
Turner
couple other
as our head
guys.
coach.
Yeah, well, we've got Callahan right now, and he's doing great things for us. So these things happen in the NFL, and they happen all the time. Alfred was always kind of a fan favorite. He was a favorite of mine, partly because he was a good running back for us, and partly because he just seems like an awfully good guy. Seems like a really nice guy. It's easy to root for him. So it's hard to see him leave. You could kind of see the writing on the wall as they started to turn more toward Matt Jones and a different kind of style and. But it is kind of sad. He's the kind of guy that you want to have things work out. What does anybody know what the numbers look like for him in Dallas?
It's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. He until last year he was putting up 1,000 yards every season, wasn't he? And he was toting the rock. And he was good.
$3.5 million, I think, was the total value of the contract. I think.
Yeah.
Not much.
So 1.5 a year, which is more than he was making here because he was on a 6th round pick.
He was on rookie contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But. I do feel a little bad for him. There is always going to be part of me that is, okay, you're a Cowboy now, so I'm hoping you get 500 yards next season and you have to leave there and find somewhere else where you can regrow. But, that's just the instinct in me as a Redskins fan to mistrust anybody who wears that aqua blue silver pants thing they do.
Right. Well. So, what do you guys think? Considering the depth chart in Dallas at the running back position, you've got McFadden, Morris, Lance Dunbar, and Rod Smith. So, what do you think? Is he going to take the premium back roles, or is this like an open competition thing?
It's open.
It's going to be McFadden. No, it's going to be McFadden getting the bulk of the carries.
And does that seem crazy to you guys, or does that seem? Considering
to me, he's in his 30s now, isn't he? He's getting up there.
He's got to be. I think absolutely.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of injuries too.
Some have said, "Don't be surprised if the Cowboys take Ezekiel Elliott at number 4."
I can see that.
They could easily cut, Lance Dunbar or Rod Smith or one of those bottom depth chart guys, and automatically have a pretty decent running back to plug in and play.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then that's a pretty damn good 3 running back rotation you got there with McFadden, Alfred, and then Ezekiel Elliott.
Then we just have to sit and wait for Romo to get hurt again for the Cowboys to stink.
It's not going to take long.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Cowboys hour, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Take bets on who gets hurt first, Romo or McFadden. That would be.
I just like to throw in my standard once a week, every show. Matt Jones is no franchise back. Disclaimer statement in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's who we got right now.
That theory's going to be
tested. I don't know, but under whose fantasy did Matt Jones show enough to be handed the reins as a franchise back from last year? I don't get it. 3.4 yards per carry.
So
fumbles.
Last season, which apparently all took place yesterday, the whole running game was crap. We had a crap running game, and that was in part because we lost 2 starting offensive linemen. And once that happened, once we lost Laval and we lost Lichtensteiger, the running game fell apart. Now, if you look back and you look at when those 2 guys were healthy, which is the first 2-3 games of the season, Alfred Morris and Matt Jones were lighting it up. They were doing great.
Mojo.
Then we lost the 2 offensive linemen, plus we lost all of our blocking tight ends at the same time, to the point where we're putting in 3rd string guys at tight end, who were linemen. And so it was the running game was a piece of crap.
And one-dimensional.
Obviously, Matt Jones wasn't good enough skill-wise on his own to overcome that problem, which makes you think he's probably not a franchise back type of guy. But I don't think that necessarily, if you look at the full body of last year, you're really getting a good look at the running game as much as you're getting a good look at the quality of depth we have on the offensive line.
I think the thing that makes fans hopeful that he is the future franchise running back is that he's shown the big playability. I mean, he's taken at least 2 or 3 screens to the house. He's made some big runs and stuff. He shows, big playability here and there. But to me, it's the consistency. If he's the starting back, how is he on down 1 and 2, and not just third down screen pass well blocked screen and he just takes it to the house. You want to see the consistent pound and making the runs happen yourself that few franchise running backs do. I mean, yes, the offensive linemen block and open up holes, but a lot of times the running backs open it up themselves too by making really good cuts and finding the lane.
Yeah, and a couple points is Robbie, you showed us all that the problems with the running game last year was not just the offensive line. It was partly due to the running backs, and you showed that on film as number one. And number two, like you said, it's Jones's consistency just isn't there. Running back is one of the few positions in football where a rookie can kind of come out of the gate and do well. And I'm just not sure. I'm not saying we need to cut the guy, anything like that. But we need a guy who, like you just said, Robbie, can be more consistent. And I think the team would be remiss in not drafting someone else.
Well, that's got to happen, right, guys?
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's saying the guy's Walter Payton or anything like that. I think he might be better than he looked last year. But
hopefully,
and he'll hopefully develop, with the off season. But we'll see going forward.
Yeah. Well, once again, fingers crossed there. So let's move on to our next segment. We are going to give you guys a little retrospective of the last year. So we've done a lot of awesome things. We've talked to a lot of awesome people. And Alex, I understand you've got some queued up moments from this past year that we all want to talk about.
Yeah, I do.
Kick us off, brother.
Okay, great. Well, I asked you guys, not the fans, but the 4 of us, 5 of us, just what were some of our favorite moments, and I went back and pulled a handful of clips from various episodes of the show, but I want to start out first with a clip here, and this is actually our very first recording that we ever had.
Oh God, I'm cringing. Are you sure you want to do this, dude?
Sweet.
And okay, I made the brilliant decision to label one clip very first something and one R for something. I'm not sure which one I'm going to play. One is our first discussion as a group, and the other one is our first intro. So this is kind of just a roll of the dice here. So I'll just play one, and we'll go from there.
Not an expensive proposition.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm. By the way, guys, I am testing out one of the recording Skype softwares, just so you guys know. I mean, not that we're going to publish this, because this is more just a discussion. Yeah. So I'm just going to test that out right now, and after this, I'll see how it sounds. And we can go more into the technical side of things at some point as well, and I can give everyone my 2 cents on what we need to make this at least sound professional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I've listened to some of these podcasts and they're just god awful.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's true.
Well, we're gonna strive for god awful first, then we'll move our way up.
Baby steps.
Initial goal. I'm glad we've got Steve on the call, though. It was a really smart move on your part to just let us all know that we're being recorded, because otherwise we get into legal trouble with Steve.
Well, depends on what state we're all in, right?
Yeah.
It does. Internet.
Not even in a state.
Internet's a little complicated.
Yeah.
All right. So we've decided on Redskins. We'll pick a name. Maybe Hog. What'd you say? Hog Sty?
The Hog Sty.
Yeah, the Hog
Sty.
So, by the way, that is the first time we ever came up with the name, I believe, as a group.
Wow.
I'm glad you played that, Alex, because I couldn't remember who came up with Hog Sty.
That was
so now we know it was Kelly.
Yeah.
That was yours truly.
Yep. Yeah. All right, so the next clip is actually from our first show we actually aired, and this is just the introduction. I don't know if you guys really want to hear that or not.
Let's do it. No, good.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
It's the Hog Sty.
The banjo, man.
I love the band.
And now,
The banjo
the
plays
Hog
at the end
Sty
sometimes
Redskins
still, right?
pre-draft special.
It plays like an hour.
Welcome to Hog Sty, your absolutely
Exactly.
unofficial leading source for all things Redskins and NFL news. This is our maiden voyage today. Come along with us. I think you'll have a good time. Of course, give us a follow on Twitter at the Hog Sty and on Facebook.
So I just wanted to play that little thing because, God, that banjo music. I don't know what I was thinking.
It's amazing how far we have come in 12 short months.
It's our maiden voyage.
Yeah,
Join
it was
us.
our maiden voyage.
It's the Hog Sty.
I think you'll enjoy it, I said. Because I was not sure.
Sean was a little more NPR at that point.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I think we were talking
the show, and
people.
we're gonna have a light coffee, and yeah.
The funny thing about listening to those is I realized both at the same time how far we've come and how little of a distance we've come. Like, in some ways we have progressed so much, and in other ways we have maybe even regressed.
Marathon, not a sprint. We're still buying shoes.
Yeah.
This is our
Yeah.
happy little podcast.
Yeah.
This is going to be our little secret.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
So,
God, that
all
was
right.
a blast from the past. Yeah, hit us with some other moments through the
Okay,
year.
okay. The other moments that we mostly went through that you guys seem to really like were our interviews. I've noticed.
Yeah.
And I think we've all said this off mic. We love our interviews mostly because we don't know how we got these.
Every single one, practically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve and Steve is my recollection.
Yeah.
Steve's the-
Yeah,
Nothing has
Steve,
changed.
Usually. So I'm going to kind of do them chronologically or as chronologically as I can.
Mhm.
And I'm going to start off with our very first interview. This was, I believe, Steve who suggested this one, and that was Doc Walker.
Our first interview was
Yeah, it was.
One
it was
Doc
Keith
Walker, the
McMillan.
first.
Keith McMillan. That's right.
McMillan.
Was Keith our first?
Yeah, he was our very
Yes.
first. He's the oldest and best friend of the show.
Well, yeah, that's
Yes.
true. He was the one who kind of gave us the idea to do the show in the first place, or encouraged it.
Just a way to insult, Keith, because Keith's coming back on the show here,
Yeah.
too, and pretty soon.
Sorry. Well,
I mean,
this is the first one we picked a clip from, so that's kind of
Well, it's also the first major celebrity interview we had.
That's true.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say. It's the
N-
first
now who's
former or
insulting Keith?
current Redskin we ever interviewed, which is pretty
If
awesome.
you want, we can just redo that introduction part of it.
It's fine.
All right, you can cut that part out then.
Hey, the mistakes and goof, that's part of the Hog Sty, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Whenever Robbie's around, it hits him.
Damn. Zing.
All right, Alex, go ahead.
What about your cohort Chris Cooley though? He seems to want to get back in there.
He's eager.
Well, no. I love his enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get at 32, 33 years old, you realize that it's over. And so you make a dash at it because Chris loves the game.
Oh, we don't disagree with that, and I love Cooley. I have a signed helmet here sitting in front of me.
He loves the game, and he's a great competitor.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has nothing to lose. He has no ego. I gotta play. He just wants to play.
Sure.
And unfortunately, to this point, no one has wanted to play with him. And so, it's just.
I don't think anybody wants to play with him anymore.
Yeah, Doc.
Well,
tell him
yeah,
what it is.
this was my pick for my favorite moment here. And the reason it was is I think this was maybe the only time we sort of made news.
Right.
Because what was interesting to me is that, Doc Walker in that whole interview was like incredibly blunt. First of all, he was a great interview.
Yeah.
And he just absolutely said the truth. And in that, Chris Cooley's his broadcast partner. And he just said, yeah, he's old. He's washed up. I asked McLuhan. There's no way McLuhan's ever going to play with him. Nobody wants to play with him at all.
What a jerk.
I thought that was great. I thought that was, and I had not heard Doc say that or anybody say that.
No.
Doc had talked to McLuhan, and McLuhan said, absolutely not, no way. And that was news. Nobody cared because nobody was listening to us at the time. But,
It was
that
still
was
a
news.
scoop. And
Well,
we got
eventually I think that still is one of our highest listened to episodes was that Doc Walker interview.
Yeah.
Doc, if you're listening to us, we want you back again.
Yes. Thank you,
And
sir.
for that, we thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
For that, I mean, that one, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think we got 1,000 hits on that first month or so, and you can kind of see our numbers just start to grow.
Absolutely. No, that was quite a moment. I think that was like a turning point, really, in the Hog Sty's progression.
Absolutely.
So that was a great
It's probably
time.
worth pointing out here, too. We'd be happy to have Chris Cooley on as well, even if Doc thinks you're old and washed up and can't do these kinds of things anymore, you know.
Thank you for making that point, because that is absolutely true.
Oh, well,
we do not condone that.
We'd take
one of my missions in life is to get Chris Cooley on this show, so that will happen before we're done.
Yeah, I might fanboy out more for that than I did for Danny Rouillet, who, even though one of my favorite interviews we ever got, I did not pick a clip from Danny Rouillet, who I did pick a clip from, to segue smoothly into that, was Rick Snyder, and that interview we did with him.
That was a good one, too, though. That was good.
Here's what I picked up on this interview before I play this. It's a 40-minute interview that we did. The first 30 minutes where we were just talking about the team and what's going on that day, boring. The last 10, when he thinks the interview's more or less done, or we all thought it was done, but then we all just kept talking for 10 minutes on the interview about just the big stuff with the team. That was my highlight. So let me play that for you now. One of my favorite moments.
Everybody can check Rick out on Twitter at snide_remarks, which, by the way, is an awesome Twitter handle, Rick. We love that.
Yeah.
Thanks. You know, I did it just to be a wise guy, and because my boss one day said about 5 years ago, he said, "This Twitter thing's going to be important. You should do it." And I'm like, I don't get paid to do it. I get a lot of abuse from people.
Sure.
I don't know why I bother, except you want to link your stories and people come read them. But otherwise, I get people write back, F you and all this stuff. And
of course.
Who wants to voluntarily take on that abuse? So
Redskins Twitter is a fun place.
Yeah, it's a bunch of cowards that are out there and sad people. My goal is 50. Hopefully I'm still alive in 12 years, and I can claim I did 50 years like Shirley Provich did regularly, and Shirley did part-time another 25.
Well, if you make that, do you get a press box at the new Redskins Stadium named after you then?
That's what I'm claiming. I like how you're thinking, because I said that. If I've covered sports for 50 years in this town and adored these teams, that new press box ought to be mine.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'd be okay with that. You guys probably remember, that was just a lot of fun to talk to him in the end.
Yeah, I mean, the coolest thing about that is that for the first time, I think, we were trying to be so respectful of his time, and he kept talking to us, and it felt like we were actually almost, maybe just a little bit, part of this Redskins media community. I mean, that was really a cool moment.
Yeah. Yeah,
there's got to be a great analogy somewhere for our position in the Redskins media compared to him.
We kept giving the hint too, like, all right, well, thanks for coming on, and then he'd think of something else to talk about. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, let me tell you about pizzas.
I missed that interview. I was not a part of it, but just listening back to it, he was such a great. Obviously, he was such a great guy to listen to. He had a million stories. I'd love to sit and pick his brain for hours about all the things he's seen. He talked about Jack Kent Cook, all
1978 was his first year, Steve. Think about that.
And I just think if David Elfin retires from the Hall of Fame voting, I think Rick Snyder is probably the next guy up.
I agree 100%. Nice. All right, so we got 2 more clips. Let me try and get through those. The next one, this one I believe was Robbie's pick. And that is when we had Master on, the beat reporter for the Post. Another interview that I think we just connected with right away with this beat reporter.
Absolutely.
And Robbie, do you want to introduce this, or should I just go ahead and play it?
No, this one, if you listen to us, you know that I do a somewhat decent Jay Gruden impression. So I had Master talk to me like I was at a press conference, and it made my night. It was awesome.
Does he? Give me a beat question.
Coach, you just defeated the Giants 20-14. Can you just talk about what this team win meant for the organization and for your tenure here as a Redskins head coach?
Well, it says a lot. We got a lot of big bang plays going on. Felt Kirk Cousins took care of the football pretty well. Sorry. The offensive line, they block their butts off.
You got to throw some in your nose. There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, he does this little swallow. It's like,
nope.
Into the microphone. But then he goes, we got a little bit of injuries. Quentin Dunbar, he dislocated his finger.
Okay, you nailed that one right there. Because he emphasized the Dunbar. Like, that was a good one right there.
He's a little banged up, but I think he'll be okay.
So I mean, here's what I and it's the same thing I said about Rick. The moments where it's not about what's going on right now with the team, but we get to kind of get behind the scenes with these guys. Yeah. Those are the best moments of our interviews.
You really get to know who they are and how they tick.
Right.
Yeah, that's what struck me about that one as well. Is that you know people come on and they start doing the interview and they're thinking, some of them are not nervous, some of them are a little bit nervous, but they're all thinking about what are they supposed to say and are these guys going to take my words if I say the wrong things? It's going to end up everywhere. When you can get to that moment in an interview where they stop thinking. And they're just reacting to you and reacting to the show and enjoying themselves. That's when you're showing a side of something that people don't normally see. That makes a really good interview. You guys have done a great job.
And I didn't particularly like that segment of the show.
And let me tell you something. I mean, I think we have been far more nervous for these interviews than the people we've interviewed. Always.
Yeah.
I mean, people out there, I need to understand. We started this podcast as a fan podcast to just kind of give the fans' take on things, and we have Robbie as
also
as
out of spite.
Snows guy.
That.
Yeah,
started partly out of spite.
We did. I was kind of the legal guy, and Robbie's X's and O's, and Sean is, and John and Kelly were the voice and everything. But we never intended to get to interview Joe Jacoby and Doc Walker. We never thought we were going to ever do any of that.
Mm-hmm. That was the most nervous I was
I remember you guys when we first interviewed Keith. And Keith is, as far as I'm concerned, he's basically family, right? He, was Washington Post, known the guy for a while.
He's one of the guys.
Talking back and forth, as well as we knew each other. But yeah, the amount of time that we spent fretting over this interview, oh my God, we're going to interview somebody wants to talk to us.
Right.
Well, what are we going to? We don't want to, make the guy mad or embarrass. All right, let's go through all of our questions in grave detail and.
Right.
We had a conversation with the guy, and the conversation turned out. I think the Keith McMillan interview turned out to be. I really had a good time with it. It was good.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. The thing for me, aside from the technical side of all this, which, by the way, has been great for my personal life because it was a great excuse to justify buying a mixer and all this other cool hardware that my wife would probably never let me get away with otherwise.
Right.
But, the thing for me is you look at some of these guys. We talk about Jacoby, Brian Mitchell, Doc Walker, and you almost see them as legends. Even contemporary players, guys who are my age, I can't help but look at them as someone who's larger than life as a figure. And they've been humanized a lot by being on the show, by having the chance to talk with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly and I are the ones that are old enough to remember Jacoby and Doc Walker playing, and of all of them, I love the Doc Walker clip I played as kind of probably my favorite moment just because of what he said. But having the opportunity to speak to Joe Jacoby twice. A guy who was such a giant, literally and figuratively, of those Redskin teams, I thought was a real honor and a privilege. Mm-hmm. And talk about being nervous. I mean, that was, and I think we had trouble hearing him. It didn't show. Alex is a good producer, so it didn't show up on the final episode. We couldn't hear him at all. He
was driving at the time. That didn't help.
Yeah, well, the first time he was.
Yeah.
The first time he was the second time I think he wasn't. But anyway, it was a real privilege and an honor to be able to speak to him and consider him, I think, honestly, probably a friend of the show, which is just, it's mind-boggling. It really is.
Well, and I've said this to you guys. My favorite moments with Jacoby and Doc Walker both happened off mic. I'm not going to go into details about what some of them were because it might embarrass those guys.
Right. We took them off. Yeah, they were off mic for a reason.
Well, it was when they would call me when we weren't doing the show. So, which still kind of blows my mind that ever happened.
Yeah. And the other you look down at your phone and you're like, holy shit.
Yep.
Well, and the other thing for me was getting Ricky Sanders to come over and sit with me, and we did that interview. That was really nice.
I had been around to coach your football team.
Yeah, I mean, I do know Ricky a little bit. I mean, I'm not on his Christmas card list or anything, but it was really a privilege to get him to come do the show. So,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to is the 10-year anniversary show where we look back at this show and everybody, oh my God, I got to talk to Joe Jacoby. It was unbelievable. I had no idea that he was a real human. I thought he was a TV show.
Kelly, there is not going to be a 10-year anniversary. The apes will have taken over by then.
Well, that's probably true.
hey, we're going to be on XM. We're going to be on XM radio in 10 years.
XM radio in 10 years.
Well, I, for one, welcome the ape overlords.
Okay, so let me get the last clip in. This one was one that Kelly kind of mentioned, and I wanted to play it last on purpose. But this is early on in our show when we were trying to figure out what to do. We came up with the idea of having games. And it didn't quite work out. But I just wanted to play this because it's one of my favorite things I think Sean ever said.
This will be great. What this game is called Fantasy or Football. Fantasy or Football. All right. The game here is I'm going to read a name of either a football player. This could be a current player, a college player, or an old school player. Or a name of a fantasy character. Nobody here knows this list. I'm the only person who has this list, so these guys don't know who they are. Let's go to your next name. Fantasy or football, Chongo Condolo.
Fantasy.
Chongo Congolo?
No, I'm going football. I'm going to think that he's one of these guys from Cameroon or somewhere that has immigrated to the United States, so I'm going football.
That great Cameroon football tradition. Right there.
And Alex, did you give yours?
I'm going to go fantasy.
I'm going to say fantasy.
Steve, look at you go, man. He is a Nebraska guard, Chongo Condolo.
There you go, Steve.
Yeah, the great thing
that's
about
still my
up...
proudest moment.
No, it's not. The great thing about setting up that game is it was so easy to set up. I mean, football players have the most ridiculous names. That was like a game that made itself practically.
Yeah.
God, yeah. So
that was a lot of fun. I'll tell you, when you guys asked, in prepping for this segment, I chose that because for me it was our second episode, I believe, and third episode. We were fresh, we were nervous. We didn't really know how well this was going to take off, or if it was going to take off, or what we were doing. Everybody was passionate and dedicated, and we'd put a lot of work into making this happen. A lot of work. And for me, that was a moment where we really got to let our hair down and start having fun. And so you've seen the Hog Sty progress now over this first year, which has been, congratulations, you guys, on a fantastic year. But for me, in the beginning, that was one of the moments where I felt like we stopped trying to create a show and we started enjoying ourselves. And that's a real big step, I think, for any kind of a show to take is, getting out of getting off the script a little bit and having a little bit of fun with it. And I think you guys have done a really good job of that kind of mentality going forward.
Oh, you've just been missing out on the scripts that you haven't seen. That's all.
You don't know how much work we've put into even the current shows.
Steve, the line that you just said, I remember editing it 4 times before the show before you said it. So we're getting there.
I don't read script. Script reads me.
All right, well,
Sean, we haven't heard your favorite moment. Wait, you can't get away with this. You got to give us your favorite moment, Sean.
Sure. Previous kickers on this team have had cool nicknames. What is your kicker nickname? Can we coin one for you? Do you have one? What's the deal?
Man, so I guess people say you can't give yourself a nickname or else it's not a nickname.
Well, has anyone on the team given you a nickname? Let's say somebody on the team. You don't even have to give us a name who gave it to you.
I guess Hop is a popular one.
Hop. I like that.
Yeah, that's it.
The Hopper.
But I know. Hold on, just a second. Sorry, my wife said something. She takes precedence over y'all guys. Sorry.
Well, it's all right. My wife takes precedence over everything else in my life. I get it.
That's right. And I know in college I had gold cleats, so I had the golden toe was kind of my nickname in college. But
nice.
D-Hop with the golden toe.
Yeah, I didn't carry it over though. I didn't want the gold to conflict with the bright.
Sure.
You know, our gold is a little different than a traditional gold, I guess. So I didn't want to look kind of foolish out there.
Well, and the NFL would probably fine you because they love finding people for minor things like that. So you don't want to. You don't want to deal with that.
So yeah, so the reason that that's my favorite moment is just like it was a cool, very human, very jokey around moment with a current player. That was our doubleheader episode where we had Dustin Hopkins and Mark Bullock on at the same time, and we were just going into the postseason there. It was right before that first playoff game.
Sure.
That felt like, holy shit, we've made it. We've lined up a current player days before they start the postseason. And he's joking around with us, and we're getting to coin nicknames for him, like the Duster, and it was just that was like an awesome moment for me. I really enjoyed that one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was our first player, and that was the first time the Redskins actually helped us.
He was our first starter.
We navigated we navigated the Redskins PR office waters and got them to help us. We think that, but what was funny about that interview to me was that was another interview I missed. And Dustin, part of the reason why I think he did the interview is he knew that I was in Texas and I'm from the same. I live in the same city he does, and he was under the impression that you guys were in Houston.
And he even
you know,
at the end.
He did, and as it turns out, none of you were in Houston at all. So I think he was a little confused because he didn't realize that I was the one who was missing.
Sure. No, the key to lining up interviews is tell all of the players' agents that we're based in the hometown of the player.
Right.
Yeah.
Lie.
Nice, actually.
Violently lie.
Just lie. Lie your way to glory, boys.
Yes. Excellent.
Well, shit. On that note, I mean, guys, think about that. Those were some awesome moments.
On that note,
yeah, we've just come so far, and these were all good. And like, just props to us, guys, and thank you for listening to us at home. Awesome times. We got a whole year worth of these moments coming up too. So stick around.
By the way, did anyone think we would really make it a year?
No.
No.
You know what? I thought that we would make it a year. I didn't make it a year, but I thought that
yeah, you're the one that didn't make it.
I didn't make it a year, but I was confident in it. We'd been rapping on TI for quite a long time. We had a lot to do. We had a good format, and there's always enough news to keep things going. So I knew that the content was there. I knew that the passion was there. And it was, I really did kind of feel like it was a matter of time, before you guys settled into this. I wasn't able to make it a year for my own reasons, but you never know. I still lurk around.
Yeah, no, we see you on the blog and you keep in touch with us all the time.
Oh yeah.
You know
what?
And,
you know what?
I realized
thought,
you had stuff going on in your life that you needed to take care of.
I had to address some things.
No. See, here's the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is we fired Kelly, and we just wanted to let him save face, on the show by saying he resigned.
Right. That was awfully nice of you guys.
You're Pete Best. Kelly.
Right. I come back and work for other places that fired me as well.
Now, see, the real reason is Kelly wasn't willing to sacrifice her personal responsibilities that we were willing to sacrifice. That's the real difference.
Sean quit his job for this.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm unemployed because of this show, guys. And unemployable.
We're breaking barriers now.
Right.
All right, I think we move on.
Yeah, so let's because I love that you brought up the game, Kelly, because we have another game today. So actually, we only played like 2 games in our entire history, and I'm glad that you're going to be here for both of them, and that's awesome. So today's game's a very fun one. It's called Who Said That? And we're going to give a mix of quotes from this past year. It's going to be quotes from us. It's going to be quotes from people we interviewed. And we're going to see which of these guys are going to be able to guess who said what. So, guys, are you ready to play Who Said That?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Sean said that.
Whose line is it anyway?
And all right, point for Kelly.
Whose line is anyway? There's a trademark. Be careful. We're going to get sued.
I was just
Drew Carey will sue everybody.
Oh, okay.
Right. He looks a little bit like Robbie too.
I've heard that before. Thank you.
I imagine.
Oh wait, Robbie, real quick, who was the guy you said I look like? That really.
Have you guys ever watched Trailer Park Boys?
Of course.
Never heard of it.
Great show.
Look at Alex. He is the spitting image of Ricky.
I thought he was Bubbles.
Oh,
he's not Bubbles.
Damn, Kelly.
Well, I just said that because I don't know.
Because it was funny.
Hey,
They're like
that.
twin brothers.
I just said that. That's 2 points for me.
Yeah, there you go.
I
2
get told
points
I
for
look-
Gryffindor.
I get told I look a lot like a young Brad Pitt.
I often get that myself. In
Blind
fact,
people, Steve.
I
You
look
got to
like a
stop
young
working for
Brad
the
Pitt
blind.
or Steve.
All right, let's play
I
this
usually get
thing.
Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, so let's on that note that I shouldn't have told you guys. Let's
do it.
You've got no excuse. Let's get into this game here, guys. Let's play Who Said That. So, are you ready? Here we go.
Ready.
First quote. Okay, and again, this can be someone we interviewed. It might also be one of us. Okay, first quote. My goal was to never be out-informed by somebody. Does that make sense? Some guys are probably more innately able to deliver sports talk opinion than I am, but I can't let anyone have more information than me.
Mark Bullock.
Mark Bullock, okay. Kelly guesses Mark Bullock. Anybody else want to wager a guess?
I'll go last because I'm 100% sure I got it.
Ooh.
It's not Mark Bullock. It was one of the reporters. It was Danny Rouillet.
Steve says Danny Rouillet. Robbie?
Yeah.
I think that's right because he was talking about the radio show and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You both are right. I'm 100% sure that was Danny.
That's correct.
Because I'm a
if you don't
stalker and I'm
remember,
obsessed.
Alex is Danny's biggest fan.
Yeah.
It's
I should have
kind
known
of
that one would be easy for Alex.
It's going to be fun for me. I always get to guess first because I wasn't on that episode when most of them. If I go last, it's going to be boring as hell for me. All right, Rouillet.
All right, well, let's try this next one then. Okay, so here we go. Next quote. Yeah, the end zones are on each end of the field. You keep running for the sidelines, you're going to be sitting on the sidelines.
Ooh.
I'm going to say Doc Walker.
Doc Walker, okay, solid guess. Anybody else?
Last, I know
Again,
this one.
yeah, the end zones are on each end of the field. You keep running for the sidelines, you're going to be sitting on the sidelines. Who
I'm going to
said
say.
that?
Whoa.
You're going to say who?
Oh,
Go ahead, Steve.
What'd you say, Alex? I'm
I
still
didn't- I didn't
thinking.
say
I'd have
yet.
to. Okay, I'm gonna hazard a guess. It sounds like a player. It sounds like something a player would say.
Sure.
And not a
Great
reporter.
deductive reasoning. Very good.
Yeah.
Good, Steve. Keep going.
I'm gonna go with Doc Walker too.
I
don't think that's right, but I'm going with Doc.
I agree. I think you guys are in the right direction, but I think you got the wrong guy. I think it's Brian Mitchell.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
He was a North and South runner.
Yeah.
Mostly
Yeah.
North, which is probably why he had a good career.
Probably why he's
Steve
got
Mitch.
records.
Well, I will tell you, you're exactly correct. Excellent reasoning, folks. That was indeed Brian Mitchell. Okay, but no changes for you, Steve. So, Alex, you got that one. Robbie, you got that one. And Kelly, did you guess on that? I forget.
Sure.
We're going to
No,
just...
Kelly had
Kelly
Doc.
said Doc Walker.
Kelly said Doc Walker? Okay.
I'm in
Come
this
on,
to win it, man.
I'm
Got three
pathetically... Yeah, I'm struggling to keep score here. Okay, we're good. Okay.
Three for Kelly.
3 for Kelly. Right, gotcha. We'll give you 1 to grow on, too.
And we've only asked 2, but I get bonus.
Yeah,
points.
I was ready to give you 4.
Sure.
All right.
Are these all going to be people that we interviewed, or is it sometimes us?
It is sometimes us.
sometimes
It is
us.
sometimes us.
Okay. All right. Clarification. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go. And I love this quote. This one cracks me up every time. Okay. Yeah. No more video games. Our audience skews older. The only fallout they know is from actual war.
I'm
My
gonna
favorite quote.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say that's Alex.
All right. Kelly says Alex. Steve.
I'm gonna say me. Did I say that?
Steve
That
says
sounds like
himself,
something
and
I
he's
would say.
sure.
I can't remember.
I
We said a
think
lot
that
of
might be
things on
Steve
this
too,
show.
because I tend to say screw the elderly. So
Wait, Alex, you said you thought it was Steve, or you said
I
it was...
think it's Steve too.
Okay, you think
Yeah,
it's Steve. Okay. And Robbie?
Yeah, it's got to be Steve.
Gotta be Steve. Wow, Alex, that was you, my man.
Really?
That was you in the episode The Burgundy Nurple. I even cited my sources. So Kelly on the board.
Yeah.
Excellent job.
Thank you. That's because I'm older.
Well, you
Probably
gotta
one
get
of my
those
drinking
points 'cause you
episodes.
weren't a part of many of these episodes, and if you
Oh,
get
that's-
them,
That's
yeah.
10 points for Kelly. Everybody else, some of you have 1 or 2.
There we go. That's about as well
Okay,
as I'm
Sean.
keeping score, too. All right.
Next one.
Next quote. We've talked for hours and hours with nothing to talk about. Imagine how good we're going to be when we actually have something to discuss. Who said that?
Oh, I know that one.
Okay. All right.
I
Rob, you
think
want
I
to lead
got
us
it.
off then? Or no, Robbie, you go last then.
All
Kelly,
right,
keep
I'll go
going.
last.
Keep kicking us off.
I don't know. That sounds like something I might say.
Yeah,
I admit.
I'm going to say Kelly. I was thinking Kelly. No, it's a Kelly quote.
I feel like it's Robbie. That sounds like a Robbie thing.
It sounds just sarcastic enough to be Kelly.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody has guessed Kelly?
No, I guess Robbie.
Oh, you
Rob,
guessed
what's
Robbie.
your
Okay.
guess?
Everyone is
I
wrong.
want to say. Oh, well, I haven't guessed yet.
Robbie
Sorry,
hasn't guessed yet, but it's not Kelly, Robbie.
Okay, well, I gave it away. That one was actually Steve. So, Steve, everybody.
Really?
I'm actually very surprised that the people that say these quotes are not getting them. That is correct.
Read it back again.
Yeah, we've talked for hours and hours and hours with nothing to talk about. Imagine how good we're going to be when we actually have something to discuss.
By the way, if Steve were on social media, that would be on his front page every day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's bitterly sarcastic, in my tone too. So yeah,
I can hear it.
I don't remember that, but I don't remember what we said 5 minutes ago, much less months and months ago. But that's a good quote. I pat myself on the back for it.
Yeah, nobody got points for that one. So
Nope.
okay. All right. This one's really funny. I love this one. Okay. His body type is that of a hippopotamus. He's got an ass the size of Montana. Well, a motor the size of Montana. We'll say that. But seriously, this guy might be a Kardashian.
Oh man.
Anybody want to jump out?
I remember the episode because I titled it "Motor the Size of Montana."
Yes, you did.
That was drunk Alex. That was Whiskey Alex.
That was Whiskey Alex. Yeah, Alex is a different guest than Whiskey Alex. Okay. Okay. Robbie says Whiskey Alex.
They were talking about Chris Baker.
I can confirm that is the case.
No. It was Kelly.
That was Kelly.
I was going to say Kelly.
I think that is
it's
Kelly.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's Kelly.
Read that quote back again. I want to hear that again.
Okay. His body type is that of a hippopotamus. He's got an ass the size of Montana. Well, a motor the size of Montana. We'll say that. No, but seriously, guys, this guy might be a Kardashian.
That has to be Kelly.
Everyone is correct. That was indeed Kelly. Everyone gets a point for that one.
All right.
Okay. I love that quote, by the way. But when I listened to that today, I cracked up for a good 5 minutes. I was like,
we could just do a good quote episode one day.
Yeah, no, seriously, this
quote episode.
You got to sift through a lot of shit, but we've got some golden nuggets in here, guys. I mean, they're
There should
fantastic.
be a page on the web page, quotes just with little clips, little audio clips. You
It
click.
could be a Kardashian.
Could be a Kardashian.
You very well could. Okay, here's your next quote. Gotta pick. Let's see. I want to pick a good one. Okay, let's see. Okay. You really look like you're speaking into a Smurf's asshole.
It's Alex.
Oh, we got to get some do you have any further context on that?
Of course not. That's cheating.
I know exactly what it was. I remember it was Alex.
We'll
and it
explain
was,
the context. Yeah, after the guess. Okay, Steve says Alex.
I'm going to say Alex because I think Steve sounds very confident about this.
Yeah, Steve sounds confident, and Smurf's asshole does sound like something I would say.
Well, why wouldn't it?
Oh my god.
Might not be the first time I've said it.
Robbie, are you agreeing with this? Or are
It
you
was totally Alex.
saying it's Alex?
The go-to Alex phrase.
All right, can I explain?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please, 'cause
Absolutely.
It sounds really bad otherwise.
All right, Smurf's asshole. I'm in my room when I'm recording this.
Oh.
There's a lot of acoustics and air conditioning makes a lot of noise, and I'm trying to eliminate any kind of sound that I can. So I originally had my microphone covered by 2 pillows and a blanket that just kind of eliminate as much sound as I could, and I'd have to lean in to talk into it.
It was a very anal setup. We'll say that.
And the blanket was very plush. Let's put it that way.
And by the way, I want to make a distinction here, guys. That was, I know for a fact, Whiskey Alex.
Oh,
so
yeah.
even though no one guessed that, I'm going to give you all points anyways.
Whiskey Alex it is.
I mean, there's a 65-45 chance that it's Whiskey Alex if it's not an interview.
And I blatantly just agreed with Steve, so I also got it.
Okay, I'm going to give Steve and Kelly extra points because they guessed the drunken Alex part, so we're getting that. Okay.
Thanks, Steve.
Beautiful. Let's see.
We can't always tell. We may have a different Alex on the days when he has a bottle of whiskey sitting next to his microphone.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a different Alex those days.
Right. All right. Well,
Evan Williams.
let's get another quote here. Okay, you guys ready for your next one? Okay. Well, at least he's not Matt Bryant waging a personal war against the uprights.
Oh.
Who said that?
Oh.
Sean.
Well,
got one guess for yours truly.
Well, me and Kelly, you and I are on the same wavelength because I was thinking. I think Sean, you're the only one that hasn't given a quote yet in this game.
I don't think we have a Robbie quote yet, do we?
Well,
Yeah,
the other thing was that sounds like a Dustin Hopkins wrap up point, and it was, and you guys on the interview, it was Robbie, Alex, and Sean that did the Dustin Hopkins interview. So I'm gonna guess Sean.
I think that's everybody. Everyone gets a point. Good job, guys.
Okay.
You know me too well.
That did sound like Sean.
Yeah.
All right. What are we going to do about Jason Witten and Des Bryant? Well, the same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world.
That's Robbie.
One guess for Robbie. Steve, you want to venture one?
Well, say it again. I'm sorry, I got distracted.
What are we going to do about Jason Witten and Des Bryant? Well, the same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world.
Take over the world.
Try to take over the world.
Yeah.
That has to be Robbie.
That's definitely a Robbie. I mean, it's Pinky in the Brain. That's
right.
Robbie's wheelhouse.
You
It's
got
done in my wheelhouse too, but
Robbie does the voices, and that's what I
Yes.
was trying to emulate there.
The same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Exactly.
it's just
Try
Orson
to
Welles,
take
come on.
over the world.
There's a reason why we let Robbie do the voice.
Exactly. It was painful just to attempt that.
Hey, I did my one. You missed my.
You do have
Kermit.
your one.
Yeah, I have my Kermit imitation.
Kermit the Frog here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no.
All right. Should we do a couple more here? You guys want to keep going?
I'd say two more.
Well,
Okay.
two more.
Okay, here we go. One guy can't destroy the game. And Ndamukong Suh, I'm sorry, let me try again. One guy can't destroy the game. And Ndamukong Suh, they're gonna block him. Scherf's a big, strong stud. What you can't have are perfect no-hitters. When you close your eyes, that guy slips you, and you don't even slow him down.
Well, if there's someone on the show that's going to call another man a stud, it's Robbie Duncan.
Absolutely.
All right.
I'm feeling
But I'm
like
not
this
going to
is
agree with you.
a reporter or something.
Yeah. I think we're going back. I think that you're going back to the interviews.
I'm not that eloquent.
I feel like that might be Keith.
Okay. So Alex says Keith. No one else has ventured an official guess, though. Except for Steve.
I
You
said Robbie. I'm going to go with Robbie. I'm going to stick with Robbie.
I'm going to go back to Doc Walker.
Go to Doc Walker.
I don't think I said that.
You know what? I think I'm going to stick with my guess because I said it. But Kelly, I think you are right because I remember him talking about big, strong stud, and he said something about Ndamukong Suh in that interview. So I missed my guess, but I think I agree with Kelly.
I'm going to go with Doc Walker, too. Or Doak Walker.
Doak.
Right. Not Doak Walker. All right. So, Alex, did you guess? I didn't hear it.
I said Keith.
You said Keith. Okay. If you said Doc Walker, you are correct.
Oh.
That is the answer. So I believe that's Robbie and Kelly.
Yep.
And
Awesome.
All right. This one's for all the marbles.
No,
Steve gets a half point for recognizing his failures and overcoming them.
Yeah,
Let's
there
make
you go.
this.
Give me half
Let's make
point.
this like a Final Jeopardy. We gamble our points.
I don't know how many points I have. to
Okay.
gamble.
So by my calculation, Alex, you have 6 points.
Mhm.
Robbie, you have 7 points.
Okay.
Steve, you
Not very
have
many.
7 points. I hope I tallied that right. Ooh, God.
half.
Please don't go back and check this. And half.
I think I had 10.
10, right. And Kelly, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 points for you, too. But I might have padded you with 1. But we'll keep it there because everyone's at 6 or 7. So I actually like that.
Right.
So,
All right.
okay.
Last
So
one.
for all the marbles, let me pick a tough one. Okay.
Pick the hardest one you can, and we'll all pad while we talk about what your strategy is. How many points you all betting?
I'm betting them all. I'm betting 7.
All right.
I'm
5.
betting all of mine and all of Alex's.
All right.
I'm
You guys
betting
ready?
1.
Yeah, let us.
All right. Last
lay
$1,
this on-
Bob.
Let us have it, Sean.
Okay, here we go.
I'm going to bet 1. That was way smarter.
All right, hold on. Yeah, let me write
Actual
down these
retail
bets.
price?
Actual real deal. $1.
All right. So here we go. Baltimore's excellent. Doomerville had 19 sacks. The other guy, Suggs, had 10 or 11. They're murderous, and they didn't get a sack against us. And I just think every game we saw with Griffin, he gets killed in the back. He holds the ball, and if you hold the ball in this league, you got to eat. Who said that?
Oof. I shouldn't have bet all my points.
I told you it was going to be a tough one, man.
Yeah.
Big mistake.
I mean, Baltimore, so we're talking preseason.
Well, all season anyway.
It was sort of an anti-Griffin thing, so
nice.
I don't think it would be. Probably wouldn't be you or I, Sean, because we would have phrased the Griffin point in a little bit more of a positive manner.
Right. I'm writing down my answer right now.
Kelly's always hated Griffin, so you're possible.
Don't start that again.
He did, but give it one more time, Sean, real quick.
All right, one more time.
Yeah.
Baltimore's excellent. Dumervil had 19 sacks. The other guy Suggs, he had 10 or 11. They're murderous, and they didn't get a sack. And I just think every game we saw with Griffin, he gets killed in the back. He holds the ball. And if you hold the ball in this league, you'll have to eat it.
I'm going Mark Bullock.
All right.
Nicely done.
I'm also going Mark Bullock.
Okay.
I'm going to take the safe play and go with Bullock as well.
All right.
That might give me, now I'm
you don't.
These guys wagered all their points, which means if they get it right, then I'm hosed.
Yeah. You should have done another guess.
Oh, yeah, I should have.
Too late. You're too late.
No, I'm locked in on Bullock now, yeah.
So everybody guesses Mark?
Wait, did Robbie guess Bullock?
I think that's the answer. Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're all wrong. That too was Mr. Doc Walker.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Purposefully misled you guys and gave you another Doc Walker quote.
Double Doc.
Nice.
Well
so, nobody got that last one right, so
online.
it's going to come down. I think Kelly only wagered 1 point.
So did I.
Oh, Alex did too? Okay, so then technically...
We're tied.
Technically, you guys are tied for the lead.
All right, I'll share it with him.
All right.
There you go.
I'll take it.
Good job, guys. That was hard, but so much fun. I had such a great time finding these quotes. Again, there's a lot of shit to sift through, but you find some gold flakes in there, which is absolutely hilarious to listen to. All right. Well, good job, guys. I think we have just a couple, like 1 or 2 more minutes of things to wrap up, and including the results of our listener poll in terms of ranking Kirk Cousins among starting quarterbacks. So, Steve, you want to take us through that?
Yeah. The question of the day was, where do you listeners rank Kirk Cousins amongst his starting quarterback peers right now without regard to future potential? And the answer was fairly rational. The 4 categories were: do you rank him in 1 through 8, 9 through 16, 17 through 24, or 25 through 32?
Okay, I like that way. Cool.
Yeah, well, it was mainly because Twitter has 4 options, and so you had, it's 32 divided by 4. There's no more thought than that. Anyway, only 9%. Only 9% of the people ranked him in the top 8. 57% ranked him between 9 and 16, which is where I didn't vote on behalf of the Hog Sty, but that's where I would rank him.
Yeah.
17 through 24 was 28% of the people, and a misguided 6% ranked him in the bottom 7, meaning 25 through 32. Those are probably the people
6%
that
of
really,
our audience
really hate him.
Is idiots.
So I actually think that's our listeners are pretty smart, because I think for the most part we all agree with that, and I mean I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's somewhere around number 10.
I think it's fair.
I've voted like 20 times.
Way to go, Rob.
Robbie,
we only had
he always voted in that bottom 6%.
Or here's one for you, Kelly. Speaking of percentages, I only voted in the bottom 6%.
I only vote in the top.
I only voted in the bottom 6%.
You have to shake your hand forward, and then when you finish the point, off to the side.
Right.
And now it's time to wrap up.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, well, shit, I love these listener polls. I hope that you listeners at home are enjoying them too. We're going to keep coming at you because we want more interaction with you guys. So thank you for participating if you did, and expect more of those coming soon. Mm-hmm. But until next time, check us out online, thehogsty.com. We will be back with you next week.
Mazel tov.
Boom.
Bye-bye.
I think you'll enjoy it, I said. Because I was not sure.
This might